A base who bay.
Honorable Kennedy, no, on for the base in which by any other neighbor. Yes, in 1992. Tamana, Yabaya, it is 89. Rollins, Ebabe Ku. Eh? Now, yes, you do something before you die. 79. Something 79. Rollins here, Kuno, and a better about Victor any Pauli. A baby who Jansroma, a papa, and the same thing. I be near Ghana for some open. And before that, really said, Omodia, Omudisika Tony Padrin, into Nipa 110,000. Mudisika Tony Padrin, 34 million population, say, Yapekane Japan. No man for now, Madia. Yes, you walk. Class in the NPP phone will say, Mimi, Baumia may say, on to me for 10 billion, Tomagio. And aside that, no, Sas cannot demand because I didn't the car. It will be catching and say, now more 1,500. Now, yes, man, say about 12, but my civilization, you come back to the actual. Almost 508,000 summer. But the best, no fun to go. I'm telling you, you Ghana moment say, Ghana first time, you're to find a couple of brooches, yet the jump brown up in Japan. Near Ghana, see what Ghana year. Mimi, and you want to see one. Kennedy on up Canada, one dime. Here one dime. I do only 3 minutes waiting. The aqua brochure phone, a person support. Here the gun, see one up and a phone. Everything I'm telling you, either NPP and this, none of these political parties can change Ghana. It takes the mindset of the leader that can change Ghana. It's apart from you lose one up Canada, Japan. Massa, Ghana, we are done.
It's not just at the base, Canada, Japan.
The base, Ghana first. Maybe like I said, baby, or maybe catch and say, Canada. Baby, I will not see you. I want to begin. And to the base, you know, one of Canada, Paul, Paul. Maybe I was so can I catch and say, yeah, the neighbor, yeah, the neighbor. Yes, the base, Ghana first.
Many matters that ought to be discussed. Said Oliver Voma or any fourth essay through his report and said there's a scandal that is looming in T. Says scandal, no, his scandal, no, and we don't know. But there's a bit of something that Ghana Web is reporting. Said there's a contract that has been given. And we'll go into the details of that contract, whether conflict of interest. Still, Ibrahim Mahama, Nyakupon Shana, he's a very good philanthropist. Ghana, or Ghana, Ghana. Ono de Obiane any issue. The social contract na Ghana for one. Between Ghana and President Mahama, or no na Ghana for Koto Abamano. So no establishes there's a contract because or they apply for a campaign or technically the campaign was a application for employment. In Ghana for society vote President Mahama no, that was interviewer to confirm that only number one worker. He's the chief executive officer of Ghana and offer Obia Jumoma like a year for VR big MTN they correct MTN boss the conditions of service your man car. To quiet just any na make said ye fa president o minor said yes ye embefa plane na mano na ye tuaka the fact so president who ye mobile no use in your plane no it's neither here nor there when you're ready for democracy democracy means that the terms and conditions that comes with democracy no, you abide by them and abiding by the terms and conditions of democracy even no crampo to conflict of interest. America, the Joe Biden freeway, neighbor Hunter Biden was involved in a big issue about contract with Hunter Biden, Koji or Ukraine and other places. Conflict of interest. Even to the extent that Biden was so man but pardon. Donald Trump betina konya so okofa ne ma ebe share na ban mu Ivanka ene ne ba ban ma ni ade another conflict of interest. Who share democracy na share ye? So all the people who are doing the cock and bull story saying, oh, President Mahama who ye mobo, and a wamoyeka, and a wakako ninia, a friend Ibrahim plane. Do you know what you are talking about? You don't even understand what governance is about. America, you're not doing Donald Trump better now soon, I know ya or Kobai, or you're not doing so Ukraine, Ukraine, Kuwait, or Koto, you Kuwait, ne Dubai, and almost you, you're better money plane, Cassie. America fought Siano first, I'm saying. Who called you plane heading? Do you even know the Omodia ship? Na America, ya suma almost America plane. because the ego aspect of it is America feel so a big say Kuwait for a money plane. But more importantly, no, America for national security, the obi in plane. No, they fly a president. That means your life is in the person's hands. Inti Ghana ye po, ye cow, and ye cow. It is the duty of Ghana, say, ye better ye president. It is the duty of Ghana, say, ye better plane a man. Man, and this cock and boots and a kufado high plane, and which it is our duty. A Ghana bank duty, see a better plane, I'm a president. It is a plane assign now high be manner. Don't it is your duty. The fact that you need consume bread and butter now, you need the bed in the high plane. I mean, do you really can you hear yourself? And found when you're ready, Obi and Suma and say democracy. Obi and Suma, because the cost of conflict of interest is more serious. Chance say, Ube says can be a current plane. The cost of conflict of interest says me, Onipa be out in the baby, we put the president, Mamma, and Yan can was but there are serious implications. Serious implications. So Obi Kocha now, then a president, Mamma Koji Ford, or Wangasa Sunday Ford, no call back. Because of conflict of interest, the potential say nipa na ocha wade no obetimi de ade na trapel. Enti wom say president Mahama nuane Ibrahim. But there's separate personality, there's separation of friends and governance, politics from any family and friends. There's complete separation. There's complete separation. But governance and politics, I will say the tenets of good governance must work. And the tenets of good governance is a rule of law. But underneath rule of law is that you must let it be shown visibly. Say emrani ye adwuma. Obi anka say president emrani so. But when you maybe on my black and white emra. But ethically, no, you don't have to do it. A bini play no, you want to be in obi. Imagine see a na obi a oye cocaine pa na president see or ni plane because or say the plane man. Sankanya ni no Ibrahim dia. Anke ye complain. We complain say the nipa we suspect no we nipa body for. One watch na no the bibi ko plane ma be trap a president. That is it. Sana we sutie. That Ibrahim any businessman or join ho any business. There should be a separation between his business and his relationship with the president. When you blur those lines, it's a recipe for disaster, and it's a recipe for corruption. That is the bottom line. And you don't need to blur those lines. Politics is a clear cut. There shouldn't be any blurred lines. And you see, it worries me when NDC is defending this. Because time the same NDC were complaining, said, blur lines not blur. Because Uniano Foriata, yenim so Foriata a data bank eduma. Yenim say he's been in the financial sector for a long time. Yenim, I see even when the issue of IMF issue neighbor say Ghana ye kwakoje IMF sikani ye negotiations. Say even Foriata in a company, Foriata company and a financial advisors. There was an issue. Why was NDC screaming? Nende die. Ibrahim Mahama no didn't play name President Mahama. They must say you okay. If it is, just say, Kufuado the bad. Ibrahim Muhammad yes bad. Mom, let's my politics. Oh, Ghana no politics ne kumi. Anything I make us a Ghana. Me the through Facebook we say Ghana. 4 years it be a problem. See recycled. Recycled. NDC ban no abedi kakra na NPP for opposition no makasa no ma complaining, but NPP so ba power pay the same thing. In fact, Osha President Kufuor time a President Kufuor ba power. I mean, I was a journalist at that time. President Kufuor ko yi ninia Adukufo. There was a whole issue. I don't know where Adukufo and ninia. The only thing is saving President Kufuor is Adukufo turned out to be one of the best ministers Ghana has ever produced. Besine uko defense ministry Adukufo record da hoda na esi ho no. Adukufo record in terms of human relations. How hard he worked. He 37 expansion project. And no penny saving President Kufuor. But even at the time, NDC was complaining. Then NDC came to power under Tamils. Now, NDC forced the same thing that they were accusing President Kufuor of. Then that same time, NPP forced that opposition almost complaining. NPP by power. Kufuor, and yet the same thing almost here. And now Kufuor, he went beyond. Kofaninia blurred the lines. enye ni nua baako ofroyata nie your friends and Gabi nie Asante Bedi etuo nie. There were so many of Atachia, so many of his relatives. Kufuor they say adu Kufuor no kofa no. Kufuor kofa adu Kufuor pe. And so Kufuor Dubai, look at the number of ebusuafo odi ombehye na ba mu. And President Mahama ba, if you look at Nini Anoma on also do Omuba Joyce Ba Muntari, any other people. I mean, issues be trapping President Mahama, the first coming, no, you did a report, any idea, but I mean, look, politics now, or Ghana, no, we are recycling the problems, but solution, no, one of my yenim the ne fata. By empathy, beka yenim the ne fata. Because catch him is say, why this is trending? Why is this trending? Why is this trending? Say gold board ama contract. Gold board ama contract yera Standogbe ni nua bema na ye in charge of that contract. E wom say report a strike so money Standogbe be kasa so that he can clarify whether ni nua na contract or not. I've seen videos of a friend, a minister, Felix Kwacho for so case contract no kromo kano company no has been in existence for a long time. Another cock and bull story, because if the fact say company way our gold board more contract no has been in existence for a long time, if that is enough justification, other than a data bank, there any justification say Oforiatta has been doing banking for a long time. So when the entire politics here recycle problems no. NPP buy under Kufuor no. NDC for complaining said despite the fact that Ken Oforiatta were experienced in the banking sector, because once upon a time everybody was buying M fund. A lot of people investment a year no munya husika for but NDC complained. Everybody complained. Me, I complained because a conflict of interest. The lines were blurred. Today, gold board ama contract ama Standogbe ni Juma. Why is it different? Why is a year first of all for telling us no the company has been in existence for a long time? It's the same. It's the same. Enti mama yenye careful Ghana no baby ye dro no e also man to me call anim ne solution oriented and na Oliver Voma wo e kan no so omobekunu no Oliver Voma wo ko kan asem we ya hey omobekunu. And this is what me I don't play with life. Enti I'm not saying what Oliver Voma is saying no wrong and I right or no otinija ho and no say people have threatened say hey we will finish you or see NDC for appointees no monya and no yes because now he's criticizing them. The same Oliver Voma who was the darling boy of NDC and that mo be fan whole time. So and this is not to say whether Oliver Voma indeed if he has been threatened or not. I don't know. But I don't think so be sorry I will bet him making allegations about threatening on his life. But this is what he's saying. This is what Oliver Voma is saying. And Fourth Estate is reporting said there's a scandal that is coming. Big push scandal, big push contract, NDC by Omodi Ameman Crawford. You see, say, I situate Ghana politics ni no BIS, meba be defending my party. Meba be defending my party. Ghana nen ko baby. 4 years, be no way ma be kakra. Na opposition for kekam, no moko. Opposition no so ba power, no so be kakra. Na abay no so ko opposition, no so be abesu. Na 4 years, be me what the youth are suffering. The youth are suffering. You may be any ho. And Ghana kwa sign visa free with Kazakhstan who said, I mean, seriously. Ghana, ya sign visa free with Kazakhstan. You are so desperate. Because you to need money, ya so ye means a creative jobs to be a momo. Because blue water gas, your mobile, so mukwe galam say your mu capre. Omu to me hute, Teletubbies, no. So blue water gas. I useless. Another pressure on Ghana budget. The next budget you see how much we have spent on this blue water gas. I useless. I'm saying no say to me fighting. 9 months so I'm watching crofona na no magic gold ne free omo sem. I'm as me dem few as ya fa ho akowu. Yakokunu just like that. And the youth in the major issue which was a campaign concern was job creation. But they say obiya say obiya ebe pe biedi. And it Oliver Voma woko kan say hey chale muncho yi o na scandal na eba no. Adena a gold board company, we are registered company, then we are a company nearby into existence. Yeah, man, Juma, yeah, man, almost 15. The total contract sum is 15 million Ghana cedis. 6 weeks contract. 6 weeks per a company in US. 6 weeks per 15 million Ghana cedis. And if NDC is not seeing anything wrong with the fact that me, I don't know. I'm sure the company now has done a very good job because Sami Jemfi said this. You see, and it baffles my mind, especially Sami Jemfi. The kind of noise we made about Bank of Ghana dying here and the gold board for them. Bank of Ghana dying. Sami Jemfi statement on the buy and so say propaganda and for yet. Granted, it's possible. Because NPP for so in opposition. So they will do propaganda. Munina propaganda. So I know the opposition for any propaganda. I won't even doubt it so propaganda. Because I know any other opposition. And this musumu be when you were in opposition, the same propaganda. When you people knew say a bano central bank. Me say Omaya Omunisi Kakra, no call central bank, Gambia, and your classmate in Ghana. Uko central banker. Because if you don't protect the central bank, when obi, we say firewall, and they cry the robbery, no, they don't need to even enter the bank. They can just enter into the digital systems of the bank and corrupt everything in a bank. And NDC complained about the cost of the Bank of Ghana building. In Tuba and Anka, the one would have thought, okay, my former private sector be na jusika. But then PMMC office, na a branch here they saying, Kofi aware na na wo just say yeah Sami Jemfi by almost say office is not enough. PMMC gold board ni different institution the same PMMC no must send in gold board or say hosta o ma fa nipa 300 account. We don't know the justification for the recruitment of those 300 people. And with the office host Santino, Yanko renovate Bank of Ghana, Dina, the same NDCC dining yet, and a dino then a boka buburu jane at the end. Yanko renovate our posh building a moment. Now, no renovation, it can no, and I have 15 million Ghana cedis. And the same NDC used to complain about even the cost of the building, central bank building. And then $15 million Ghana cedis just for the renovation, 6-week renovation. So I'm not doubting company, no, yeah, Juman. I know the company no will do I know Standogbe Nakata. There's no way his company will do a shoddy way. But the issue at stake is the conflict of interest. The lines are blurred. So for Yata, the you can't Nanado Kofani Nyaba Bemu, na your problem. Why is it that gold board the company or the contract Standogbe Nya company there okay? Why is that okay? In any case, someone catches over at the end of tender and restricted tender. Why is Gold Board not publishing certain tender information? Publish it. So at the end of competitive bidding, publish it the competitive bidding. And these were the companies that bid. And this was the value of all the other companies no mobile contract. No? And this is the rationale behind the winning of the contract. I want to mean publish it. They cannot publish it because this is PR. Complete PR and a Gold Board for you know. Because me as a journalist sitting where I know when politicians are doing PR, NPP for you, NDC for this is PR. And then Monday na me catch and say diversity taxes and they cost with a lot of things because there's a cover up. And it's not good. I was here to make it sure, man. I know say yes, generally Africa there. Politics no. Omo di politics they follow politics because omo kakra omo subenya. Into onipa na koye politics no enya kakra as long as the contract process no genuine any problem. Me, I don't have any problem with Stando Benyana Wakoji contract. No. My only issue is the conflict of interest and why NDC thinks they have the moral right to accuse NPP and Kufuado, but Omodi any day okay. And Felix Kwachofosu is very comfortable justifying this. Hey, that is one year can overata ne Kufuado nakasana no hintra. Because I mean, it just baffles my mind. The things Mwankasa Mukatia Kufuado. You and Oliver Voma even when as a Ghanaian he has a right to speak his mind no and net on camera until you have two scandals coming up stand over there then you have the big push any other things I pray for President Mahama say his appointees will not disgrace him because even this one no even for Sami Jemfi's name to be involved in it na me one Sami Jemfi. First started with Sami Jemfi $800 to Agrada. Then I did sign my contract. Clear case of conflict of interest. Until nobody should come and give us a cook and boo story about Bianco Divi. We understand, but I'm saying that their lines are blurred. The lines are blurred. Ghana, mama yem share on mine here, yo, and no money can crow. Ghana na conflict, try home, Iran near the air, your cocaine and for the atem. Say Bank of Ghana, and I can clear no. or see it poses fresh inflation risk. Omo IQ ni low nkwara Teletubbies they be bad. They want to just do politics. Oh, and you people are wishing. Massa, if the realities of global geopolitics is staring you in your face, you must appreciate it. Yam brought together. And this your NPP ni kwanya be fast be build your mind because inflation cost affect MPP affect obia be affect obia. So it's about time. Parties ni me nyina na supporters will come together and see how mo betimi push your mind more mind konanim. This unnecessary politicking. And straight of humus and affect you because does it lie in your mouth? The Iran for bomb no motototo does it lie in your mouth? And America for you no motototo does it lie in your mouth? Say I'm tree a bonnet and dream beyond just the politics. Yenny a bebre. Now I pity Gen Z for no. Momo generation am bebre. I pity Gen Z for no. Momo generation. Mona mo bebre pa. Mona mo bebre. Because they are buying opposition. You people still don't see it. This week, the opposition here. Minority demands removal of 1 Ghana cedi on petroleum product. It's the same formula, the same modus operandi. And this opposition, man, yeah, change. Hey, he levy muyi. Hey, demonstration, yeah, work at he levy muyi is the same adequate. It been a minority for so now they are in opposition. So this is the only means in opposition they have to scream. Until the NPP that was in power, no more justify, but oh, I was say, yeah, the taxes are too full, not so near to me, yeah, they pay your money, because taxes they are necessary, and the taxes are the same NPP now, opposition. Now look at what they are doing in parliament. Yeah, 11, 11 what petroleum product, so. Mrs. No one simple politics, yeah, politicians will mislead you. What is different about where you are NPP for you need 11 NDC for SAG workout or no? What's different? It's the same. Meanwhile, the truth of the matter is that as a third world country, you hear taxes. And it doesn't matter, baby, are taxing because America and the fuel, gas is going to $6. Yeah, the politics, yeah, maybe a see Gen Z for one bebre. Yeah, and Jai electricity in so yeah, and Mahama. Whoever you believe Mahama or bar on to electricity, but blame your IQ. Don't come and blame Mahama. Because I mean, politician catch our campaign platform to say me ba men to kanya men to so man, you believe it? Blame your brain. Do you believe that? Donald Trump now the grocery bill and the grocery bill. Busana say the grocery bill no way. Busana say the grocery bill no way. 500 Costco and son what to make a grocery for no family. And Toshe because I know does not control Niema. And this and basics now, yeah, microeconomic indicators now. Who are buying out is in your control. And that's what you can. He's busy fighting a war. On drink a grocery no. Into what go outside the Mahama say, oh, Galamso about best topic. What feels say simple. When NDC was in opposition and he was telling you for say, and Galamse creating state of emergency, and the people will then conform to create state of emergency. Seriously, state of emergency. And they won't say you tell number. And then the tables have 10 between NDC and NPP. NDC is catching all the strays. And no money now, but they know NDC do money. What we full soldier and I said the OBK, no. Mona moko campaign rally mujina wiemu. Mo de mo say wiem. I'm not OBK and confront just moving at them. Blame your IQ if you don't understand that issue. He's stating exact fact and the realities. Me, my 20 years plus, me cover party rallies in yeah, more mujina wiem. MP ba on jina DC ba on jina ube jina. As simple as that. Tiasa kwashepo ko hage transformer. We Galamsey asem no. Then this is oh you buy Galamsey, you bet chichin conform before they don't have the political will. Galamsey know how many 1.5 years near NDC has been power. One of my stop Galamsey. In fact, Nanado crowd your bad beginning no say he's ready to sacrifice his seat. Anything. Ansa no one say Jegu Mama party boys munko na munko di demand mo ye. And then this by 1.5 years in so anything you. Omukra de omuntumi mansuo nente kakrampo na kase oh ate na se the aye moto. Insuo nente. You see? After the minister na Semosi Galamsey is a national survival fight, not politics. After the minister de politics in here. After the minister say Galamsey need a national survival fight. Time the MPP for say obi ambra together there no it goes beyond the most MPP for the omo no mu Galamsey no. NDC said NPP for na ye galamsey. In fact, Nanado na ye chief galamsey ya. Nanado na ye chief corruption campaign. And then the minister say galamsey no. A national survival fight. Ni blue gas na tonsium. Minister nanka say ni blue gas atonsium. Waste of money. Show of nonsense. And ko bebia. Blue gas for an chair to buy blue gas and buy no. Minister in chair. Why no match no? Blue gas and so ben na blue gas so omadwuma ma yenti eni ate. Bremu ana said yen. Ana afra no. Ana first mikro mu adansin so yikra de senkra mi refinading. Pra no na ate ana. Ana mu ko eche bi ho no mama nsuo no eche bi ne wan atiwane ade no moja galam say no. Minister nanka say hun say ni blue gas no te na ye bogus and useless. Useless. Sika say akwa. Sika but the baby am po me there say ye debate yankofo ka blue gas so ye Ghana for nti etu omuka no it's okay but work done is zero e wo see etumi nya bibi e betimi ahwe solution ye proactive solution ye long term effect the na nyo the NDC me say NPP for by say ya with sam na nadu hu ya na 8 years na so na nadu hu ya na 8 years na so the only thing that we can praise na nadu for a free SHS the long term impact of free SHS in there. That was a policy shift. But apart from free SHS, Niama bebre and another year can went here. And then this is for starting. Awarding contract to cronies. Big push contract, Yamudi Aman who don't deserve it. Na party for didn't away. When you now create crash to party so moody the jomo. Party for still moody the jomo. And the Ghana bibi. Because we will not always be like this. We are a third world country, but we need to grow the nation beyond just third world country. This issue, no, obiabo or money dear gray solving galamsey, but we are not solving galamsey. Yeah, chichedink and then I must chink of what no more my gold nephew munsem. Na nkofona ko so mde omuko police station no maja no my gold nephew munsem. To the extent that mama sami jemfiase akoye target. And they are labeling it as armed robbery. And robbery, maybe I've had my say about it. Since I'm in Finland, won't go busa galamsey for no targeting no fano. And ane asema Oliver Boma will post the man why that he was catching strays or more threatening and that first is yeah expose be. Na expose is about big push any contract akesia NDC by Omodia Mankofo. President Mahama Nankasa, this is a call on President Mahama for an NC form. Usually the scandal will not be President Mahama Nankasa Nebeye. It will be the people he has appointed in office. And His Excellency President Mama for 9C form. If somebody has to be sack the person. Obi tries to be woo into any attempt of conflict of interest and patrol, do the needful. And none of Monday make him to say plain yasemi. President and patrol he must go back to Parliament, put a bill before Parliament and go to play no for not just for the president, for armed forces for the helicopter for 2 young men have died in Tema. A needless death. Sanke yan fa helicopter ni plane na politics ni hu nyansa ni first kase or mine hu here. Now running the nation comes at a cost, whether the bear politics or not is irrelevant. It comes at a cost. Yan ko to plane ni helicopters papa may armed forces. Ni en to bin so may president and kabo is in common. We knew it. That was foreseeable. Doctor or manene mantie mienu or mowin no mabusuafo anya they should have sued government of Ghana. That owo we nyina ye foreseeable owo anke betimi prevent it. Auto helicopter papa omu. This is pure negligence, abuse of politics because of amanyosem ye the helicopter ni plane ni enti enkoto. Ye mo mu ntwi dada no ani enku nkofo ma. Enti how many people must die? Omane bo amane maame di ne bakro pe ene yeku na to atwene no. Omane bo ama ni maame di no one child, only child yeku na to atwene. And then mantie mienu we 2 brothers, 1 woman wa ne ma mienu awu. And we are still there doing unnecessary politics with the plane and the helicopter issue. We must retool the Air Force. And we must buy a new aircraft for the president. Simplicity. And yes, and a president you ne brad, and ne brad juma. Ne brano, and you know no government of Ghana. Ne brani a private Ibrahim Unchine de Onchina de, but the president has to be protected and secured. Na Ghana crowd be a muye, Burkina for crowd plane. Na ye any plane. And this is not a matter of say any to mean top president. Yeah, better. Ye need to cash your chairs gasha every 4 years, me boy. Yet you is gash every 4 years. And what kind of nation is this? It's yambra back your issue no na me come from out be say ye way jaso ubetimi join ubetimi share views ubedi atem or how I will skip your message. I will not read it because this is a place where your friends saying knowledgeable people ye to agene who are would atem bia IQ ni low, you are not needed here. Yeah, one person can be here you okay. And one is here to agene ma Ghana I build no chine bi obi ba or say once upon a time nankophobia or honmo mo de omo dwene Ghana ho. That's all. Ye me pay ye that lumba be say ye me pay nyinkyere ye nipa be ye bi nana ya sorry ye obi a or ye financial person or ye finance ho adwuma ne ade a ono or ye NPP ni, but his background mainly is in finance and economy and all that. Wa being was that area anymore. And our professor enokopoko into will be a leadership expert wa being won adwuma. He understands the issue is leadership akwa could do PhD level, so you are not playing with the America for so stop playing with him. Play with him. Onye nipa odi agro on leadership issues, and that's why we need his expertise in this area. Enti mama mu nyina kwaba.
Joseph, yeah.
Sister Emma, good evening.
Yeah, that's it. Problem starting through so in terms of leadership, because at this point, NDC by these scandals here, do you think is there a leadership concern, especially when we are talking about say plane, the any helicopter, the conflict of interest, say president will every right to say Uchini near you, but when he's using that for national functions, can we say that in terms of leadership there's a conflict of interest?
If you are me that say, say eniyama baako mienu bi amahu ewo mabrabom me ye adwuma wɔ America for many years na matan akɔtena Ghana so eye adwuma no eni say Ghana no nsɛm etie no nipa mpɛ nokre eka ewo ye kro no mu mfa nokre de nokre eye dan a ebekata entro so ena eye dan so a han ebekata esum so na wo a wo ka nokre no kro na nkasa mpɛ wasɛm because nokrekafo enoso ena ne to so mienu ye ni nkrofo ye from critical friends our political party mu me pesenka party bi wo a party na afo no beka kire omom ho esikire omsaka kire ade a ye minu no manye sene akwatafo du no ekohu e ka se aduane a yedi enye yenkoka nche kromofo because ye nuanom ne komode wo mo na entenesa anti akoye se obi wo party emu a ya party ni be ye bia ni say you say nyo esese o support o nyesa party na krasa intimi interest o obi wo party bi mu asa eninti opposition bekasa no ne bekasa o ya propaganda na fe ofisu anu hu say se me hu ya enka manya ni sa ma menka sembi se nanado e perform ya the second term na enka amma mahama lifeline amana amba another performance amanfo kan ni ede ne ma President Mahama lifeline e ma ne san back na ye ka enema bebre wo ha ye hia technical explanation say yankrofo no bebre wo ha won de choboi na wagisu ye no di akire enti say ye ba say ye the technical adwen e ka sema ono nti ase yesa ene se sa woti nipa no so ase say bi adwuma kra nya adwuma nyina na ye de school na ye obu ho a wanko school enso obofie nyansa otimi ye adwuma man ye de ne eboa man man ye ka akrobodu senom ye de emu ye man man ye nti loyalty here but blind loyalty ene ekuyen esa so nipa obi antimi uchama 1 ye bebo abodin sesi a na fe unse wanye hwe nanso na aka achi ye ka conflict of interest and scandal niam bebre wom na your politics na koye low politics we them yen na omo na blame game muna mo kan say yen ye kan say na you just send bebre but me no me a servant of truth and service enti so obi be ma me bibi obi ma me bibi no enya ne hia me esan se position wo wiase nyina betumi anya ye president of Africa bebre o hwa o ye president of Africa but o free Africa no be Europe obi anim no onam o ye ordinary person.
Yeah.
No America we know obi a wo ha enti ye the leadership ye overrated sen ye de hwa ye ho na me ye say na unimi na ye no anya sa na tie ya anom enti se ye ka se conflict of interest a ye say situation bi ana say event be a ebetimi a compromise with decision making now or the future. Entine ebetimi a actual, ebetimi a potential, ebetimi a perceived. President no jet no, yedi kan no bone anasade enye no na enye. No matter who is leading it or who is behind it. And your friend the law of categorical imperative. Na Immanuel Kant na this ethics in the by. Enti say maybe what we ya fam ya juma emfa ne say EPA ya ban ya juma ya fam say me CEO na EPA so new tool and de be ya juma ye car a me de be call inspection na mo me brother na ama me car say memfa na memfa kwa ya juma ebetimi create potential conflict of interest. Why? Because me use private car for an official duty. And it's a BBC. Why now busa no? Because it was both private and public underpinning. That's here. And my men fair no private jet mu. Your president any jet. Said the only pabako for 70 million private jet. Ghana crony intimate jobi. Burkina now can almost 10 jets. Air Burkina 10. Small boy. 10. They have 10 public a year. Air Burkina. Now say me ko Ethiopia almost over 120. Air Ethiopia. And here in Ghana, ye go there will be boss sergeant diamond lithium ye yentimin top private presidential fleet. And my president we need to care for our leaders. The safety of the president, both NPP, NDC, CPP, whatever party you belong to, your responsibility. But your politics in yentiminye and ye see ye way and our France, no ebeba November. And the president, ne brother, yentimin Toby, ne brother, de ne diamano. Yan fan say, knock on the wood, BBNC. But BBC, ye use private jet for a public official responsibility of our president. How do we fix it? Yakotamano, and I see a koyani day because now even though no one fan borrow no and I say one fan renting no oh president no na Ghana na efuele say your banner maintenance do on ayen ye beye nti na kana bi ni ye boy anyway so on nti ade na ye bet ye ho betimi asode a sika ahe na ye we spend 94 million our national cathedral just foundation sika wo ho auditor general say last year nkwan $2 billion sika a fine individual sema yentimi nyeye $2 billion public money yeah here for sika $2 billion individuals FI yentimi spending 100 million and not 200 million sorry yentimi fanto presidential jet but akwesa mo kan say nti ana we no mo ka say nti no yentimi nkwankoto but me pese me conclude na me nua so ka bi say ye nyina ye responsibility as a country say you protect your president. Say the South Korea or no almost a contractor na ye 2.2 billion. I be agricultural ni nyama ye visa waiver say obi ko South Korea and ka onya visa no wako. And nyama omo ye ni nyina ye nyama omo ye edi aboa Ghana.
Exactly.
Nanso no say untimi mfa commercial flight na onfa mfia na akosi ha na why transit wo baby na dia koduru ho uwia schedule say dia ma ni nyina no emfatayen asoman ntimi nuanom esese ye nyina ye ya said yes ye beto jet and as a presidential fleet am I president say NPP no so no say this also ni obi beka no obeka but ye hwe cost and benefit cost of just 100 million and 70 million Ibrahim Muhammad ye otoye no na ye de share president for 4 years na other international travels I hear a lot of policies because as president, as I said, or public policies. Or 200 mom, your economic policies, or 200 mom, your social one, foreign one, as or travel, 200 mom, your fiscal one, and your monetary policies. Nina no so no, it's said your democratic governance in Tino. As I said, Timamufono, yes, your one samuka. Because and penny for say or shagro way, and Tino, yen shall say me. And Obama meeting me mepe. So the president is thinking about cost and the public trust. But yes, we have safety of our leaders. Because America Air Force President bomb crowd to a woman and cannot. I don't know if we are see be a born leader who buying. It's answer what could you at Obama and so merely do. and as your leaders in a trouble mon penny yampo masamana. Because me baby na mon who me person me some mine, and a month for who be mumuna say okay, ya person best me. Now, two some de be ye jumano, now some farmer mia. Then how do you want me to perform?
But Prof, Mama Nana Wabem, but Prof, don't you think there's also about said okay how NDC discuss Kufu at the time, no? Clearly, he had a problem with that presidential jet, no? And he says, see, Akrama ground, you see, a France,
Yes, France.
So that in Kaya can cry at the time, some private jet, I say, presidential one, I say, we need a new one. And now, Sikan Kufu the co high back could be a near 25,000 a week or a day, no? And
no more renting $14,000 an hour.
You an hour, and then Cassesi can be a boabuano. And Anka did ye present mamma so full like they Togo Ibrahim jet me, they can't because I'm asking this because of the over politicization of even national issues. Was it fair at the time? Say instead of saying can this new NPP back, look, let's fix it. Say you know, yeah, the politics are perhaps I don't know actually NDC this time.
Nyamekani say both NDC and NPP have not been fair to each other because blame game no does. Akwese obi e blame no yonko na wona yese na yese. E je se o ma wo fie na sebe ebia government kra no obi afa ayusu. Na ofra obi ase it's not me. Obi ase nyo no a but ya yusu ade no. Enti me no ya adwen se yesi kasem senior president ka na na adonko aboye e wo jet yi ho. Ene omo maintain fix kra wo France be si ne ye nwie ye ka ye bo wo ho. And then the NDC phone so after 1 year. President ko baby a car ye bo say ye rent you say obi ne brother na dey man mo na say fuel ye nyina no a car ye bo no say ye de to ye dia enke ye enti aye ye nya obi kan ye ni obi anka nyina no me gidi say nya ye say flying coffee na France say car ye dada na o fix ni say den ya cry egusu ye dada sa na play na ye hiam no ebema the safety of your presidential fleet no mu tukwan ya na nkofa asem bia amra because eye na doson say obi be full plane bia no sro because unim ne besi because aye akwese utukwan na trotro dada bi na wutim unim say ade ka yi de say nya accident kra tetanus ebema wo no enya asem ketua mom ye ntofofro because Ghana ye nhia ye nusa hwe gold aye tu hwe diamond manganese ni bauxite ni cocoa kra yi sika de ba unim say yenya yeche amanone kra no hwe sika ya de ma aban over 5
exactly almost 8 billion
for obi frame me beka say okaja say prof the solution in Ghana no is in the diaspora na answer na nyame kra no obebudu Jerusalem no he needed the diaspora to do that and menene ya adwen diaspora for me kan mati ekobi efe no diaspora for change. Na esese ye gina brochire for ye kan hu bo mi ko shia dachi fo bi Amsterdam abrofo a omo plan bibi on person be o Ghana na omo gigi sika na unim ye ni hospitals e wo Accra nyina no Oka Kolebu Rich Trust Bank Hospital UCMD UGMC ni nyina kaboma bed facilities enu 300 but mo wo ye Rochester ha Mayo Clinic. Oko bed facility be 500. Enti adenti na yenji asase. Ne yensi about 500 ultra modern hospital in Mayo Clinic asi wo hey ofurata ba hey. Ne yensi bi wo Ghana. Unim ebeye hub Ghana will be a hub of health services. Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Ben omo nyina beba ye benya sika manabuso. In fact, na me pi say a friend is saying baby idea national cathedral krano nka yemfa nya Accra eye ana Ghana eye tse na London eye wo we na man for mehwe nkrofo baba sika ebenya na
guys paper bi abehu o the entire Accra
we are not entrepreneurial leaders now as a bibia na manage yema we free ye say adwuma kra yentimi create bi nipa 500,000 apply for job na ye fa 5,000 just 1%. So, and ye ni plan bia ye de man crofo adwuma. And ye ni plan bia for a lot of the policies. Akwese say emergency. Me a matter of technical ideas. Ye say ne be ya. Planning is lacking. And then
maybe one of these days, your baby a one-on-one on the diaspora, because you see, Akrobia sending message, and now say, boom, so say, how can I join the diaspora for change? Very interesting.
Okay.
Remember, I'm making you on it, but my man and I am remembering, and I just a quick one on there, it's a quick one. Let me listen to you on playing as no prof. I change conflict. I like sending a prof my the technical definition say potential a compromise, perceived compromise, and actual compromise. 3 dimensions. I like definition of prof demand. But Nana, what do you think? President Mahama, or the whole that compromise man, a potential and there's an actual potential compromise with Ninian play now we used to know.
I think so. It's concerning, right? It's concerning on the idea. This is a former president. This is not even a new president, right? This will be a Hinida wasn't the vice president. So you expect, understanding of these things, it should be at the very highest level. It should have no inclination of we discussing it now. It's not good for mankind that at this point in our history that we have an experienced politician or experienced president leading us, that we are having a conversation at this level. Yes, or the same, it demeans our political maturity. What you say? Because the issue is, Sister Fia, if tomorrow or the same Bamia becomes president and Samira buys a private jet and Bamia
microphone question, fantastic.
Ochina Bamia be president, na Samira koto private jet na Bamia use. Like what would that mean for us? In T1, they would defend them. Think about it in those terms. It's not about the fact say Ampa maybe Niniano for all true purposes or they might at a cheaper rate. That is not the argument here. The argument is because as a president, you send a lot of signals out there through action, especially president now executive president. People are looking at you, they are watching you. You don't want to send, even the inkling of signals to any appointee, say these things are acceptable, especially when you have done the very mature thing of bringing up your own code of conduct, which for me, I thought was...
President Mama, yes, our code of conduct.
Yeah. I think that was one of the best things that, happened in the first policies bill, the bar, bringing code of conduct, because I've always said some of our problems is ethics. Some of our prof can honesty. Our honesty level, so you need the way you ethical issues. Our society has very low ethical leaderships. Issues, what you here. And because of that, you need somebody at the highest level to demonstrate a certain acceptable minimum standard of the code of conduct and also ethics. So I think, that document was well intended. It was all good. It is an aspect where, I thought you were setting up a certain standard for everybody to follow. Or why will you fall into this trap? But Sister Fia, I think it's the issue of the pragmatism of politics meets or the same rationality. What is here? And I think, sir, Omampehini is in a fixed because Ampa Meshe Kalistos Mahama or Trobi.
Executive secretary, the buy,
Sister, if you are the politics don't change, if we're in a normal classroom and we are doing rationality, we are not doing politics, we are doing state building the state. The now market and give him 100%. I fully agree with it. Some can because Ghana, if you look at our stature in the Committee of Nations, now we share the stature geopolitically. We are not like any other country. You were a certain or the same respectability be about our foreign or the same ministry and our foreign relations with countries and the way we play and how they value us. Inti Omampehina Quantune and yet President Bia said or Quantum President Bina or committee also commercial flight. And that is the reason why I think people like a Blackwell and Co should not occupy the political space when it comes to this conversation, because they demean the essence of governance and they demean the confidence and trust that citizens must have. Now,
as a person,
him as a person, people who talk like him in opposition, and at the time, I think it wasn't the good example to showcase for your presidency, because you kind of expose and ridicule the office. like I always say in political or the science, when we are talking about leaders, we don't talk about the leaders as a person. We talk about the office. Because tomorrow that leader will leave and another person will come into that office. And in that we are called that office, all the dignities and all the respect then that is required of the office. But oftentimes, we go after the person, we demean the office, forgetting say tomorrow another person will come into that office. Or China player or man paying so playing as a professor can because we are building a country, we are building an executive presidency. Tomorrow somebody will have to come into that office and function effectively. Into year 12, we are not buying it because Akufo-Addo and I say John Mahama Ejapade. We are buying it because the workings of the office, Ghana, our importance in geopolitics, our importance in diplomacy, our importance in engagement on even security issues across West Africa. We interact a lot, and there are sometimes, Sister Fia, some meetings in bar, and you have to go flight, or book a flight. You need to be on the quick to be able to move out and go and engage. What you say? And if not for politics, why not? That is a very perfect justification, and I believe all the MPs, parliamentarians, they know that. But our politicians play on the vulnerabilities and the ignorance of our population. So what you say? Because most people don't understand the workings of government and how government works, and therefore they make it look like it's some simple idea. And I realized, I could see that. Reverberate in Bagman's comment about some people say MP square here bicycle. And I laugh. How can we reduce a serious country, serious governance to have some of these, conversations? That to the extent that the Speaker of Parliament will avert his mind, or the Nigerian member say he'll be addressing the issues. So be a comment to say members of Parliament they here bicycle. They don't need 4x4 car. And politicians don't want on my own.
I mean, your bicycle no crano, bicycle in a walk crowd here or they find the Aquajuma.
And no, Prof, and no issue now. I am a person idea who compare Europe. Europe, they have a well-structured lanes. Lane for bicycle.
Netherlands.
And travel long distance.
The Prime Minister of Netherlands, only office. My question governance system, only office. Odu baby are not the laptop, but the whole bicycle is respected than even car.
Bicycle lane, even lanes for bicycle no motor. It's well structured. Bicycle.
But won't mean because
say environment different.
The contexts are different. But Dr. Nyaho Tamakro Yaibo TV3 just 3 days ago. Now, Kase, when he was in government, he was sent to Germany, technical system near that way, talking about employment and those kind of things. And I may suggest to say, baby, I will buy Obesia, who free a bam or baby 2 weeks, a baby system. Ghana need be a Juma or you see the problem why that's really important. Ghana need be a Juma or no any Ghana culture. And also, yeah, Juma or her until when we are able to fish Ghanaians, or more broach or more, yes, you might hear knowledge, 1 year technical diploma, 1 year technical diploma entrepreneurship, 1 year technical food or friend saying food track, no or the track or year journey, 1 year in the technical degrees, on year 2 year you see
you see, you're conscientizing and crop for an answer okay because I dreaming yena wow can on money a team they are bro, but my man and I are the point here they're now because you see saying changes the mindset of my approach for one baby and my frustrated because prof by who they can't some can and some Ghana massa yeah be petty
yes oh
and morning
if you mental some say me ko to we che bi adi na me dey che butu biti maybe a simple person me gina wa obi say ase minimum baby na mayi mani me gina line so ase minimum baby the third time NDC professor no I was shocked sir nipa timi tag obi say political me buy school buy me masters me PhD me boss student no $200,000 NDC ni mo hwe me ma school di me nim de boa me man no e be the scholarship na ba o mu wi o ma sa tena ha o man ko fie obi a the first degree ne master's PhD ni nyina ye Ghana ban sika wan kofie ete ha e bo brand buson yen ye di sika na kofie ko boa when you speak na say anko party bi say ne opeso tia na watag wo political party imagine
We have the skilled people. Yeah, one more and being economy and finance. But over Ghana, hey, one day you so sending idea about how
you lose your identity. Uba Breccia, yes, we African. Ukwa Ukrom, so I say, we American. I feel the end day.
Probably ever come with them. But I am your point, on plane. That you think said the Nanka politics and NDC for no. What should President Muhammad do about this? Because when you say, as I say, a top plane from my president, near to be crime armed forces, helicopters near the way I say helicopters, they come here this year. And going for how do we move forward? Pushy President Mama. What should we tell President Mama? Move NPP or the Munyamba supporting the top plane from man, so that we know that Senior Prof can governance it's at a cost, but we must do it.
Sister Fia, I think the honorable thing Abloko Kujetu must do is to apologize and set a certain standard for people to realize that politics it doesn't help all of us. What I say, when you do the wrong thing and time catches up now, people that will not change your position as or the same minister for or the same foreign affairs. That will not be the basis upon whom your mama will say may fire out. Mama can appoint and disappoint you anytime without any reasons, any basis. What I say, intimate say. Oh yes, Anna. It will let people realize, politics near to the Bia, the Kasama no Boroso. The Kasama no Boroso, let's have the humility to accept, we were wrong on this and move on. But to still make it look, whatever you said stands, and where's Anna, your other opponent will not budge in quickly, sir. What you say? Intimifi and come on, be no D for presidential jet, Sister Fia, it wasn't, good for our country. It exposes our president, it put the president at risk, and it's just unfortunate that a new president has come in and he has to deal with all the inconveniences. Maybe Mampeni said, look beyond that, because when we were all Mampeni, said you will standards higher. What you say, we standard and your minister be standard. So the other war minor, go ahead and do it, even if it will mean people will talk, people will criticize. Eventually, go for top plane. Say Neokroma. Our history tells us go for top plane. Did go for use it? Go for did not use it. The it was the same attitude. We usually tend to make a lot of noise about it politically. Sure,